Welcome to In Conversation with Evergreen London Consulting, where we discuss the intersection between business and doing good for the planet. I'm Natasha Roberts, the founder of Evergreen London Consulting and your host. And today I have the pleasure of welcoming Lily Wolstenholme, hopefully I've said it right, who is co-founder and co-CEO of Eco Intelligence. Eco Intelligence offer an AI platform which provide detailed evidence-based insight to companies in order to ensure ethical transparency and operational efficiencies. On the personal side, Lily used to play at competitive level hockey for England and continued playing until university. She's very active, still playing paddle, running, and she likes having the mix of competitivity, fun, and fitness. Welcome, Lily, and thanks for joining the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Great. Well, let's start with work. So tell me what Eco Intelligence do and what do you do as co-CEO, co-founder?
So, we're on a mission to try and combat greenwashing and enhance corporate accountability through transparency. As co-CEO and co-founder, my work varies largely day to day, but it ranges from speaking to potential clients and having internal team meetings, as well as working on the go-to-market strategy and sales pipelines, and then also marketing and business development. I find that no 2 days are ever the same, but I think the unpredictability is what makes the job so interesting.
Oh, wow. So how big is your team? Do you...
Yeah, so it's a team of four at the moment, including me.
Wow. And so your platform is a software type platform.
Yeah, it's a software as a service platform.
Okay. And you what are your key clients?
So it ranges, but at the moment, financial services, audit, law, and also B corporations.
Nice. Wow. And what's your favorite part of your job?
So I'd say my favorite part of my job is getting to speak to so many new people. I've had the opportunity to speak to lots of different people who are creating such innovative products and services, and they're also doing incredible work in their space, and I found it to be really inspiring. And as well as this, I think I'd say I really enjoyed the constant learning. I feel like I learn new things every single day, and I've really enjoyed this aspect of my job also.
Wow. And when did you launch Eco Intelligence?
So the company was incorporated in June last year.
And where do you come from? What's your background before Eco
So
Intelligence?
my background is as an auditor at a Big Four company. So I got my chartered accountancy qualification. So very audit, accounting, finance.
Great. Yeah, it's needed for what you're working on,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Yeah, it
It's
has
quite
helped a
strength.
lot.
Yeah, it's great. Right. Well, let's move on to sustainability. And so the question I always put my guests is saying, what does sustainability mean for you? Because it's a big word and it could mean different things for different people.
Yeah, I do feel like people have many different definitions of sustainability. Um, but to me, I think sustainability is about creating systems that allow us to meet today's needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet theirs. So it's a balance of environmental, social, and economic factors. But I also think it means considering the long-term impacts of our actions. So as well as making responsible choices and driving innovation that supports both the planet and its people.
And so how kind of when you say about, supporting the planet, people, is there any specific area that you like focusing on or
Yeah, so I mean, it is a big part of what I'm doing at Eco Intelligence, but I believe that transparency is a crucial part to promoting sustainability. Um, so many brands and companies lie about their sustainability practices to make them seem more environmentally friendly than they really are. But if
Mhm.
companies were more transparent and genuinely committed to their ethical practices, we'd be in a far better position today than we are. Um, I believe that consumers do want to trust brands, but once a company is caught being dishonest, then the trust is broken. So I believe to promote sustainability, it's essential to advocate for transparency and hold brands accountable to higher standards.
No, that's a good point. And then how do you make the brand to kind of care in a way and care in the transparency field?
Yes, so this has been quite a difficult, it's been a bit of a challenge because quite a lot of people use sustainability as a marketing tool. So they're happy with how they're going along. try and make them seem more environmentally friendly than they truly are. But some companies generally want to be honest and truthful and they don't know how to go about it. A lot of the data that they rely on is inaccurate, so they're actually not sure where they are being environmentally friendly, where they're lying about it. So I think using accurate data and having all of the insights available to you would really help with that. And yeah, just talking to companies about the impacts of how if they aren't transparent, I mean, they not only could they get fined by the regulators, but they also could have damage to their reputation and break consumer trust.
That's for sure. I mean, you can see quite a bit of greenwashing fines, but
Yes.
you can also see the impact where I was reading an article where they were flagging, I think it was H&M, that was saying 53% recyclable polyester.
I
And
think what's happened at the moment is that brands can kind of just say things. And obviously, as a consumer, I mean, before I got into doing a lot of research about greenwashing, I just believed the brands because why would they lie to you? But then you realize that they can kind of just say what they want to say. Um,
oh. So there
uh,
is no regulation that kind of outside of the fine that blocks them from, well, telling the truth.
there's quite a few coming into place in 2025 now. They're
Okay.
getting a lot more stringent on this, but a few years ago, I think people would just say it as a marketing tool, and hope that they can get away with it.
Hope for the best. And so, kind of talk to me a bit more about eco-intelligence and how do you get your data and how do you, so do you specialize in ESG reporting on the transparency side of it? Do you do all of the scope side of it? Do you do anything kind of B Corp only? Do you do, how do you work?
Yeah, so I have a very experienced lead engineer who I'm working with, who is an expert in AI, and we basically ingest I think it's like 100,000 third-party verified reports into the AI. And
Mhm.
then this is then mapped to create a dashboard which shows different insights. So people might care more about certain aspects, so can show them what they care about more. And then we create a report from this. Um, so there's so many different aspects to greenwashing, false claims, use of vague terms, like just saying this is green, but what does that even
Just
mean?
got the color green.
Yeah, exactly. Broken promises. So people saying by 2026, I will do this. And then they just don't talk about it again, or they don't do it. And then cherry picking. So you put on your marketing, you talk loads about this great charity you've donated to, etc. But in the background, you're doing some awful things to the environment, but you're kind of just concealing them. And I mean, I
Okay.
didn't know about a lot of these things before, but yeah, we show them where they might be doing bad things, basically.
Yeah.
And we can also show this data in terms of the UN Sustainable Development Goals or the donor
Mhm.
economic model. People like to measure their their sustainability based off these models.
Mhm.
See where there's some green flags where you're performing well or red flags, and how you can improve on this.
Oh, okay, sounds great. Sustainability, what is kind of the one thing you would like or you're doing differently, personal life and work on promoting sustainability for future generation, for transformation?
Um, so I've been using my LinkedIn a lot more to try and educate people on
Mhm.
sustainability in general, and I mean mainly greenwashing. And yeah, just talking to a lot more people about it because a lot of people don't actually realize what's going on because you have your own life, you've got your own job, and people don't tend to think about these other things. But once you've spoken to them about it, a lot of people that I've spoken to have come back and said, "Oh, I did some research on this, and wow, like can't believe that's happening." Um, People are boycotting certain brands, saying they don't want to buy from, for example, H&M, as you say, because they were caught greenwashing, etc. So I think education's a really important part of it, and just making people aware of what's going on.
Amazing. And kind of, so do you go to events? Do you so kind of,
Yeah, I have been going to quite a few events. I would like to go to more in 2025.
okay.
Definitely, yeah.
What's the biggest event you've been and kind of what did you like about it?
So I went to a green summit in Manchester
Oh,
a few
nice.
months ago, and that was really interesting. A lot of people talking about what's going on in the green space within Manchester. and I connected with so many people doing amazing things. And yeah, that was really insightful. They had some really interesting talks. I think I spoke to you about this actually, about how to communicate green issues without coming across as boring. There was a talk with the BBC about that, and that was quite interesting because sometimes when you start talking about sustainability, certain people who aren't interested, they just don't listen. So it's trying to get the message out there without like lecturing people.
Yes. I always say I don't want to be a preacher.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to tell people I'm right, and I don't want to tell them this big story. I want them to feel part of it.
Yeah.
And it's a skill. We talked about that into the saying, how do you make it real for people? How do you align to what they care? And
Yeah.
also there is some climate denier that, yeah, you're gonna make them listen, but they're not gonna hear it. And it's okay. Not everybody will care
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
short term.
Yeah, not everyone will care, but there's quite a lot of people who are like on the fence, or they just weren't aware of certain things, and they will listen. But yeah, as
Yeah.
you say, certain climate deniers, it's very hard to change their
Yeah.
their mind.
Anything you would do differently in your personal life to promote sustainability or that you're doing?
Um, at the moment, I'd say just go like spreading more awareness.
Hmm.
In 2025, I would like to try and host more events. Um, for people to spread awareness of sustainability, and also just build more of a community around what's going on. I've spoken to a lot of people in the sustainability who are really passionate about sustainability, but I also like to speak to people who, as I've said, were like on the fence about it and try and change their mind. So it's not all people who are activists, because that's fantastic, but at a lot of these events, yeah, there's not people who have just recently uh, become aware of the issues. It's more people who have been doing it for many years, which is fantastic. But yeah, in order to reach a wider audience and spread more awareness.
Yeah, we're similar on that one. So one of my 25 target is to move the needle in having 100% of my clients to do 1% more on sustainability because,
Yeah,
most of them are not in sustainability. As you say,
yeah,
they're not the dedicated sustainability support per people. But if
mm,
everybody in my network, or at least in my client base, could do 1% more, then that will push the needle further.
yeah. I
It will
completely
push
agree.
people that are, potentially on the fence or just never heard of it or not really caring yet.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Amazing. And then the last question I ask is, what would you tell or your 20 years old self to do differently, feel differently, or be different in
Well,
hindsight, the hindsight one?
yeah, that's a really good question. Um, I would say don't wait until the perfect time to make a change and just start. Because I used to tell myself in a few more years, once I have more experience, I'll start making a difference then. Or right now, no one will listen to me because I don't have decades of expertise. But the truth is, there's no perfect time to begin, and the best time to take action is today. I'd also remind myself to care less about what others might think of my experience and focus more on making a difference. And I would remind myself it doesn't have to start with something big, even small changes matter. Because I believe every step we take towards a better future makes a bigger impact than we may realize. So yeah, I think just going for it and not worrying about what people may think.
Yeah, good point. I love that. I always say it's like the Nike logo. Just
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
No, I completely agree with that.
That's a big, powerful one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite key on that.
So thank you very much for having me. I
No,
really
no
enjoyed
worries.
our conversation.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. It's great to have you.